Here's the funny thing. One minute I'm just a guy buying a snowplow, thinking I'm doing something good for myself and my neighbors. The next, I'm the neighborhood villain. I mean it, if anybody told me that just being helpful could land me in the crosshairs of an entire Vermont town, I would have called them crazy. But that's exactly how it went down. My name's Quentin Yates, and for a while there I was the most hated man in Pine Ridge, Vermont, all because I tried to do the right thing. Let me set the stage. I moved to Pine Ridge from Charlotte, North Carolina, where winter is something that shows up on Christmas cards, and every couple years dumps a single inch of snow and brings the whole city to a standstill. I'd bought a 4-bedroom colonial on Maple Crest Drive right when the leaves turned that wild orange and red. The real estate agent, nice enough woman, mentioned there was a homeowners association. $100 a year, she said, mostly landscaping. What she left out was that the HOA president, Jennifer Kensington, treated her post like she'd been handed the nuclear launch codes. From the day I moved in, the neighbors had advice: get snow tires, stock up on salt, learn to shovel, winter's no joke up here. Marcus from 3 doors down took it a step further. You'll want a plow for your truck, trust me. Good thing I'd bought a Ford F250 practically built for a Vermont winter. I dropped $3,000 on a plow, spent a weekend wrestling with the installation, watched every YouTube video known to man, even practiced in an empty parking lot just to be sure. Late November, first dusting of snow. 5 in the morning, I'm out there like a kid on Christmas, plowing my driveway in 10 minutes flat, feeling pretty pleased with myself. Then I see Mrs. Patterson must have been pushing 80 out there, hunched over a shovel, and my heart just breaks. I clear her driveway in 5 minutes. She tries to pay me, but I won't take it. Neighbors help neighbors, I tell her. Word gets around. Next time it snows 8 inches, this time I've got people at my door before sunrise. The Hendersons, both nurses, heading to the hospital. The Rodrigos, overwhelmed parents of 3. And Mrs. Patterson, always smiling, always grateful. I don't ask for a dime. In fact, I look forward to it. Something about the quiet before dawn, the scrape of the plow, seeing the difference made in real time, it felt honest, good. Then comes the letter. Mid-December official Pine Ridge HOA letterhead signature from Jennifer Kensington herself. 3 paragraphs all in that special HOA speak that somehow manages to sound both polite and threatening. Stop plowing before 7 a.m. or else. Because the noise is disturbing the neighborhood, apparently. Couldn't believe it. I mean, my plow isn't exactly silent, but it's not a leaf blower at 2 a.m. either, and the town's own plows rumble by at 6:30. I call the number. Jennifer herself answers. And it's like talking to an ice cube. We've had multiple complaints, she says. You're violating the HOA's noise ordinance. I ask who complained, genuinely curious. None of the people I'd helped, that's for sure. That information is confidential. She gives me an official warning, says fines are next, and hangs up before I can get a word in. Standing in my kitchen, holding that letter, the absurdity of it all just hits. I head over to Mrs. Patterson's figure. Maybe she heard something. She's shocked. Says, oh, honey, no, you're a godsend. If you weren't helping me, I'd have to pay Jennifer's son's company $100 a storm. Wait. Jennifer's son. Turns out Brandon Kensington runs the biggest plow service in the area, charges a fortune, and Jennifer's always pushing his business at HOA meetings. That's when it clicks. This isn't about noise. This is about competition, about money. I'm not just a neighbor with a plow. I'm the only thing standing between Jennifer's family and a bunch of easy cash. So I pull out the HOA bylaws. Never thought I'd be the guy reading fine print, but here we are. Sure enough, no heavy machinery before 7 a.m. on weekdays. Next storm, I wait until 7. By then, the town plow has already built a 4-foot wall of snow at the end of every driveway. Mrs. Patterson's out there with her ancient shovel, making no headway. The Hendersons are late for work. The Rodrigos' kids can't get to the bus. Takes me 2 hours instead of 1, and nobody's happy. That afternoon, Jennifer shows up at my door with Diane, her sister-in-law, and HOA vice president. They sit on my couch, don't even wait for an invite, and start grilling me. Operating a commercial business without a license, affecting property values, creating unfair competition. I nearly laugh. I'm just helping neighbors for free. Doesn't matter, Jennifer says, the board has voted. If you keep it up, it's $200 per violation. Then she says, if you don't like it, you can always sell and move. I'm floored. That night, Marcus comes by with a 6-pack. We talk it out. He tells me nobody wants the HOA job, so Jennifer and her family just keep re-electing themselves and they fine whoever they want for whatever they want, fences too high, shutters the wrong color, you name it. There's got to be a law against this, I say. Marcus just shakes his head. Welcome to HOA country. So what do? I try to play it smart plow only after 7 and only my own driveway. Mrs. Patterson texts me, says Jennifer came by pushing her son's service. She feels cornered like she has no choice. And sure enough, most folks cave, start paying Brandon $120 a storm. Jennifer drives around looking smug, waving from her white Mercedes SUV. Then 2 days before Christmas, the storm of the decade hits. 18 inches overnight, still falling. The town plows are busy on the main roads, leave the neighborhood buried. I sleep and drink coffee, watch the snow pile up outside. At 7, my phone blows up. Mrs. Patterson, Marcus, the Hendersons. Everyone's stuck, cars buried, can't get out, can't get to work. Brandon's company calls off for dangerous conditions. They'll come by when it's safe. A few hours later, Jennifer herself is knocking on my door. She looks like she's been through a war, snow everywhere, wind whipping her coat. We have a situation, she says, desperate. I let her sweat. Funny, I thought I wasn't allowed to plow for anyone. She says it's a temporary suspension of the rules just for this emergency. I let her twist in the wind, then tell her, sorry, but I'm just following the rules. I close the door in her face. Part of me feels guilty, but another part of me thinks she wanted the rules, she can have them. Next week, she calls a mandatory HOA meeting. Community center's packed. Jennifer, Diane, and Brandon pitch a special snow removal assessment, $600 a house, all going to Brandon's company. Non-negotiable. The room explodes, shouting, arguing, people furious. Marcus calls it a scam. I stand up and say what everyone's thinking: Jennifer's abusing her power for personal gain. So I throw out a counteroffer. I'll get licensed and insured, charge $45 per house. No contracts, no tricks. Hands shoot up. Jennifer storms out, face like thunder. Over the next few days, I do it all: file paperwork, pay for insurance, take the safety course. I get over 40 houses signed up. Jennifer isn't done, though. She starts slapping me with fines for commercial vehicle storage, sends me threatening letters, even calls the cops on me for noise violations at 5:30 a.m., despite the fact that snow removal is considered essential and exempt from those ordinances. I get a lawyer, Thomas Brennan, who specializes in HOA headaches. He finds out the HOA hasn't held a legal election in 6 years, and that the whole board's just Jennifer's family and friends siphoning off HOA funds for their own businesses. The fight gets ugly. Jennifer doubles down, I dig my heels in. We file complaints, gather signatures, force an emergency board election, and get the Vermont Attorney General involved. The court date comes. Jennifer's lawyer, Brandon, the assistant AG, and half the town fill the courtroom. Judge Finch listens to it all. Thomas lays out the case: conflict of interest, no elections, harassment, money siphoned from the HOA to Jennifer's family. The verdict: Jennifer loses. The judge voids the assessment orders. A financial audit bans Jennifer and her cronies from harassing me and calls for immediate board elections. Jennifer's face, if looks could kill. Elections come and go. Jennifer doesn't run. Marcus, Helen, and David get elected. The audit shows over $60,000 in HOA money went to the Kensingtons. The Attorney General files criminal charges. Jennifer and Diane end up with records and restitution payments. Brandon's business collapses. With all that out of the way, life actually settles down. Jake, the high school kid, starts working with me. We plow together side by side through storm after storm. Mrs. Patterson keeps baking me pies. Neighbors finally feel like well neighbors again. The new HOA board even contracts me to handle the common areas. No more drama, just honest work. One day I get a letter from Jennifer in prison. She wants to apologize. I go see her mostly out of curiosity. She admits it, got addicted to the power, the control. She's genuinely sorry. Says she ruined her life, her family's, for nothing but money and control. I can't say I forgive her. Not really, but I get it. Power changes people. Left unchecked, it can turn anyone into a monster, even someone who thinks they're just doing the right thing. The seasons turn. Jake becomes my partner. Mrs. Patterson passes away at 92, leaves me a note and $1,000 for the young man who made my winters bearable. I use it to start a scholarship for local kids interested in skilled trades. What sticks with me is this community doesn't just happen. It's built brick by brick, sometimes the hard way. The fight wasn't really about snow. It was about standing up against corruption for fairness for each other. When good people stay quiet, folks like Jennifer take over. But when one person stands up, others will too. And that's how things change. The HOA never went back to the old ways. Elections were regular books, stayed open decisions made for the community, not just the powerful. There's even a little granite monument now just past the entrance in recognition of residents who stood for transparency and community. My name's at the top, but honestly, it could be any of us. And every winter, I'm out there at 5 a.m., coffee in hand, ready to clear some snow and help my neighbors. The world doesn't always reward you for doing the right thing, but sometimes the fight itself is the reward. You look back and you know you stood your ground. So let me throw it to you. Where's the line between enforcing the rules and abusing power? Have you ever had to stand up to someone in charge just because it was right? Would you have done the same or just kept quiet, plowed your own driveway and let it go? I want to hear your stories. Drop a comment, share your take on justice, community, or a time you stood up when it would have been easier not to. Because maybe, just maybe, we all have a little more power to make things right than we think.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video. Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.